Let me ask you something directly. Don't flinch. When you close your eyes at night, do you ever feel like your entire life is on lease? Like your time, your energy, even your dreams belong to someone else? Your boss, the bills, the clock that drags you out of bed before dawn? You tell yourself, if I just work a little harder, save a little more, one day I'll be free. But somewhere deep down, maybe in a place you try not to visit too often, there's a voice whispering, what if that day never comes? What if financial independence is just another carrot on a stick, dangling forever in front of you? We live in a culture that disguises slavery as progress. You may not be chained, but your mortgage, your rent, your car loan, they function just the same. Debt is the modern shackle. Plato once wrote about prisoners in a cave, mistaking shadows for reality. Today, the shadows are our paychecks, our 401k balances, our credit scores, numbers that glow on a screen, convincing us that someday, we'll step into the sunlight of freedom. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people never will. Because financial independence, as we imagine it, isn't just about money, it's about time. And time is the one currency we spend without consent. You're spending it now, every single second, in exchange for a promise that might never be fulfilled. Think of it, entire industries thrive on selling you the idea of financial freedom, courses, seminars, investment gurus on YouTube. They dangle early retirement, passive income, side hustles. But if you've noticed, most of them aren't free themselves. They're working, they're creating, they're selling you their path to independence while depending on you to buy in. Nietzsche once warned us about this. He said people don't really desire freedom, they desire comfort. And so, in chasing financial independence, we might actually be chasing another form of comfort, an illusion that if we hit some magical number in our bank account, we'll suddenly become brave, authentic, and alive. But what if freedom can't be bought? What if the entire idea is rigged? I once heard about a man who spent his entire life chasing financial independence. He calculated every expense, invested aggressively, skipped vacations, skipped dinners, skipped friendships. Finally, at 62, he retired with a few million in the bank. For a moment he felt triumphant, but then came the silence. No colleagues, no routine, no reason to get out of bed.
I saved all my life to finally do what I want, but the truth is I no longer know what I want.
This is the paradox. You can win the money game and still lose your life. Why we crave freedom, but fear. Financial independence is not just about dollars, it's about something deeper. It's about the human yearning for autonomy, the ability to choose without permission. Yet psychology tells us something strange. When people suddenly get what they thought they wanted, total freedom, they often crumble. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, observed that humans can endure almost any suffering if they have a why. But when there is no why, no burden, no structure, people collapse into despair. So maybe the question isn't, is financial independence possible? Maybe the real question is, would you even know what to do with it? A historical reflection. Consider the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. These were men who lived with power, wealth, even slavery. Yet they argued again and again, freedom is not external. Epictetus, born a slave, once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Think about that. A man in chains, yet freer than most of us with bank accounts, cars, and Netflix subscriptions. History whispers an inconvenient truth. The dream of financial independence may blind us to a deeper reality, that freedom begins not in the market, but in the mind. Right now, if I asked you what financial independence looks like, you might picture sunsets on exotic beaches, a laptop by the pool, no alarm clock ever again. But look closer. Isn't that just another form of consumer fantasy? The perfect Instagram reel? Even in our vision of freedom, we can't escape capitalism's marketing. Freedom is reduced to an aesthetic. The unspoken fear. Here's what we don't admit. Part of us doesn't want financial independence. Because if we actually achieved it, if we actually had all the time and freedom we claim to desire, we'd have no excuses left, no boss to blame, no schedule to hide behind. We'd face the terrifying question, who am I, when no one tells me what to do? That's why some people sabotage themselves financially. That's why some never save enough, never invest enough. Because financial dependence gives them a cage, and a cage is safe. Ask yourself, how much is enough? If you think $2 million, then what happens when you reach it? Inflation, taxes, emergencies, suddenly you need 3, then 5. The finish line moves endlessly. The finish line moves endlessly. Nietzsche called this the eternal recurrence. The same struggles, the same desires, repeating forever. Chasing financial independence can feel like that, a treadmill disguised as a track. But what if independence isn't about escaping work, but transforming our relationship with it? What if freedom means choosing your chains? Maybe the goal isn't to live without obligation, but to live only with the obligations that give you meaning. A parent isn't financially independent from their child. A writer isn't independent from the blank page. A musician isn't free from their instrument. Yet, in those relationships, people often feel more alive, more purposeful, more free than anywhere else. A thought experiment. Imagine 2 people. The first earns 6 figures, saves diligently, invests smartly, but hates every moment of their job. The second earns much less, but their work gives them joy, and they live simply, free of debt. Who is more independent? Who is more enslaved? We often mistake independence for excess, but maybe it's found in alignment. Closing reflection. So, is financial independence even possible? Yes and no. You can accumulate enough money to stop working. You can pay off debt, escape the rat race, buy yourself decades of leisure. But unless you also face the deeper question, what does freedom mean to you? You might discover that independence is just another form of captivity. The Greek philosopher Diogenes once lived in a barrel, owning almost nothing, and when Alexander the Great offered him riches, he replied, "Stand out of my sunlight." Perhaps that is independence. Not wealth, but the courage to need nothing from anyone, not even their approval. So I'll leave you with this. Maybe the real prison isn't your job, your bills, or your lack of savings. Maybe the real prison is the belief that freedom is somewhere in the future, instead of something you can choose, right now. Because in the end, financial independence may not be a destination at all. It may just be the courage to redefine what enough means for you today.